And I've certainly been aware over the years of how my wanting and discontent mind can be a constant companion, disrupting my contentment. One example that kind of always makes me smile and laugh that I've noticed for myself over the years is my discontent with the home I live in. And as I imagine most of us, if not many of us, have had the experience of moving. I've moved several times in the course of my life. And being a slow learner, as Bill says, it's taken me many years to notice that almost as soon as I move into a house, I begin noticing what I'm discontent with in that house and thinking how other homes are better. And maybe I made a wrong decision, and it makes me a little bit unsettled. And I've certainly moved often enough to realize that this discontent is not about the house being enough. It's about my wanting mind. The last time I moved about 7 years ago, I noticed that the online real estate postings were still popping up in my email. And I'd click on them and think about finding a more perfect house. And I finally realized that this continuing search didn't feel good. It fueled my discontent. And just as we've practiced with other difficult feelings, I could notice, discontent, disquiet, and the embodied experience and see it for what it is. There you are, my wanting mind. I feel your restlessness, that bit of agitation, that tension that arises. So maybe some restraint might help. Maybe not clicking on the emails, or better yet, blocking that whole email site from never appearing on my emails again. I don't need it anymore. But I also began wondering, how could I also cultivate more contentment? And for me, the practice of gratitude really helps support that cultivation of contentment. Okay, I see you and I feel you, my wanting and my discontent. Now let's settle down and refocus on what you do have and can appreciate. Then I can begin considering what I am grateful for. A home that is cozy and warm with a lovely patio and lovely rooms, really more space than I need, a lovely, safe neighborhood, good and kind neighbors, and so forth. And notice the change in my body, the easing of tension, the softening and opening of my heart as the spaciousness of gratitude blossoms. And along with the practice of noticing and reorienting towards gratitude when that moment of wanting arises, we can engage in more general gratitude practices. And I've been practicing, as Bill and Susan do, each morning waking up with a gratitude practice, not waiting to be triggered by my discontent. I can set the tone by starting the day grateful that I woke up. And I have to tell you, the older I get, the more important that seems. I'm awake, I'm upright, I'm breathing. Yahoo! I had a good night's sleep. My cat is snuggled next to me. I'm so grateful for my little old lady cat. And I have a warm bed to feel cozy and a lovely bedroom and a bathroom right next door with indoor plumbing. And having gone on retreats that did not have indoor plumbing, I am so grateful for indoor plumbing. Victor Perichin, a Buddhist teacher, talks about this as being grateful for nothing, being grateful for the little things that are so easy to take for granted if I don't intentionally orient towards gratitude. And our brains naturally do this. They get used to things. What we have becomes ordinary, just the usual. Our brains adapt and they go on the lookout for new and shinier and novel things to play with. This intentional gratitude practice counteracts this tendency to steal contentment from ourselves. And we actively become more aware of all the ordinary things that sustain and support our lives. In this way, we can also expand our mindfulness of gratitude. If you were to make a list right now, how many things would you have on your list of what you are grateful for? 10, 20, 100? Feel free to put them into the chat. What are you grateful for right now? Let's see what our Sangha gratitude list would look like. Let's see what we've got here. Family, still here, good neighbors, Sangha, dry, warm house, health, air, trees, light. Yes, so many things. Oh, art and music, time to enjoy them. The breath, flowers, birds, peace and quiet. Yes, art making for the friends in my life, all of the above, so many things. Thank you. Carpenters who built my house, absolutely. Yeah. My wife, so many things to be grateful for. And we could keep going, and hopefully we will keep going, keep growing our list and expand mindfulness to deepen our awareness so that we can see more clearly all of the things, all of the causes and conditions that work together, the interbeing that makes our life possible. And just as we might take time at the beginning of each day, we can expand that. Maybe time at meals to be grateful for all the causes and conditions that make this meal possible. I really like, with my first sip of grapefruit juice at breakfast, to think about everything that went into bringing me that grapefruit juice. All the people, seen and unseen, whose work and efforts went into cultivating that grapefruit juice, transporting it, putting it in the store, getting it to me, and the sun and the rain and the earth and the insects, and that made it all possible. It's amazing when we give ourselves the opportunity to think of the gratitude for all of that, for all of that. And at the end of the day, bookending our day with gratitude, thinking of all those who make our lives possible, friends, families, as people have chatted in, benefactors, all those whose work and efforts and time, seen and unseen, our ancestors who made our lives possible. And as Lee spoke about Monday, also noticing keenly the kindnesses that we receive when they're offered. The Buddha said, these two people are hard to find in the world. Which two? the one who is the first to do a kindness, and the one who is grateful and thankful for that kindness done. Being grateful for all the small kindnesses offered, taking nothing and no one for granted, taking away from the significance of these acts of kindness, the kindness of people who follow traffic rules, who go the speed limit, the people who collected my trash this morning and recyclables, taking the extra boxes that I left next to the trash can. All of those people and activities that are so easy to take for granted. And in expanding our gratitude, realizing that gratitude doesn't just apply to appreciating what is pleasant. We can challenge ourselves to appreciate the difficult people and situations. Atisha, who brought Buddhism from India to Tibet, used to use simple teaching slogans, one of which was, "Be grateful for everyone." These difficult, annoying, agitating people may be our most important teachers. And going one step farther, for what I find has been a difficult practice, practicing gratitude for the capacity to feel badly, to feel the pang of remorse and regret when I have done something harmful, when I have caught myself or been caught stealing someone else's well-being. I am grateful for the capacity to feel distress when I have been unkind or unskillful, to teach me, to help me become a better person. This is, in the Pali term, hiri-ottappa, the cultivation of conscience and concern for the well-being of others as well as myself. We practice the precepts out of empathy and compassion, not out of fear or guilt. This is a practice of valuing others and valuing myself enough so that I don't wish harm, or so that I don't cause harm, so that I don't wish for or take what is not freely offered, and so that I receive with gratitude what is offered in my life, even if what is offered is a difficult lesson. As Jack Kornfield states, gratitude does not envy or compare. It's not dependent on what you have. It depends on your heart. You can even find gratitude for your measure of sorrows, the hand you've been dealt. There is mystery surrounding even your difficulties and suffering. Sometimes it's through the hardest things that your heart learns its most important lessons. This is our path. How do we keep our hearts open and sustain gratitude given our imperfections and limitations in, as Bill and Susan would say, this world on fire? This is the koan of our times. How to keep our hearts open and be grateful in the face of pain and suffering. Again, a quote from Jack Kornfield. As gratitude grows, it gives rise to joy and generosity. We experience the courage to rejoice in our own blessings and in the good fortune of others. In joy, we are not afraid of pleasure. We do not mistakenly believe it is disloyal to the suffering of the world to honor the measure of happiness we have been given. And this resonates with my experience. The more I practice gratitude for all that I do have in my life, the home that I do have, the people who are in my life, the moments of my life, the more joy and contentment I experience. And this leads to more generosity, wishing that all others be happy and well and content. This is not settling for just having enough. But as Lee said on Monday, this is about a feast, about true freedom, abundance, and liberation. So grateful for your presence and for your attention in sharing my words. Let's practice. Let's feel into and take care of and see what we can be grateful for in our bodies this morning. Oh, what movements can we do? How can we still move to bring some level of comfort and ease into our bodies? How might we be grateful even as we move for the little creaks and aches that tell us enough. You don't need to push yourself farther. Being grateful for all that our bodies offer us, all the ways that our bodies support us. Sitting, standing, walking, resting, working, all that our bodies do. And the places that may store tension and tending to those, our jaws, moving the neck around where tension can often gather. Our shoulders, appreciating what movement is available in our shoulders. And then as the body feels complete with any movement and adjustment, coming to settle down, perhaps with eyes closed or gently gazing. And attending to breathing within these bodies. Grateful for each breath. As the breath settles into its own easy rhythm and pace. Creating that welcoming, caring, holding space in which our mind and heart can come in for a rest. Appreciating whatever spaciousness you can experience. Enough space for breathing to flow naturally. The space in which you can feel at ease and quiet. whatever capacity is available for just the right energy and attention to be present for each moment. grateful to notice mind wandering and to return to appreciation of each moment just as it is. Each ordinary and wondrous moment. And in the last few minutes of this practice, perhaps dropping in a bit more gratitude, whatever's accessible, as we appreciate all the causes and conditions that allow us to be sitting here with you and you with us in this amazing Sangha. Thank you for your practice and presence.